Hi everyone, it's Kel-n-Rich. We're back with you. A little introduction. My name's Rich. This is my wife, Kel.
Hi.
And we provide first reaction videos from metal to progressive rock and anything in between that is awesome. A little background, I was a trumpet player and a musician, then turned more towards music appreciation that I brought to my family, my young family, then my more grown-up family. I had two children, and one of them sadly passed away about 5-6 months ago from the complications of epilepsy, and he was a major rager, and he owned that Jackson Flying V King behind us, and it's always in between Kel and I when we do our videos. And now Kel is doing music appreciation with me, and she's going to introduce herself.
My name is Kel, and I know it's hard to believe, but about 95% of the music that comes across this channel and that we react to, I really have not heard. I was in a very sheltered environment for a long time, and I didn't have a lot of exposure to anything beyond classical or whatever was on the top 40. And the reason why is because I was a concert pianist, and I was really involved in the conservatory and performing and teaching, and my focus had to be all on classical music. Nothing else could interfere. So all of these great bands that all of you suggest and that you have introduced me to, I really have no understanding of many of them. I've heard of some of them. And so this channel is really about music exploration. So I'm getting to have a second childhood with music the way I really wanted it to be. And I'm loving every minute with all of you and with you, my love.
It's fantastic. It's an absolute pleasure, Kel.
Thanks.
So this one that we're doing, you notice in the title that this one is Lamb of God, and it's a song Ruin. It's live. We're breaking a little bit of our pattern where we listen to the studio version first, because you may have seen the passionate rock music interpreter video that we had done, and it was a surprise to me, and did it yesterday. So it's in our playlist under Lamb of God. It's also under rock music interpreter. And in that video, it showed a very enthusiastic, very cool sign language interpreter right there, stage left, from Lamb of God, and just absolutely giving all of the sign language with the air drumming and everything.
Totally.
And it really inspired us to think outside the box in terms of, first of all, sending it out to you guys, sending the message out. Maybe you guys know sign language interpreters that might want to mix the two and maybe get into an organization that is doing this.
Or maybe you yourself
You might be one out
are
there.
a sign language interpreter professional. Grew up with someone in your family, you learned, I don't even know, but I just thought that the marriage of the sign language and the metal was awesome.
Yeah, and the song they were playing happened to be Lamb of God's Ruin. And Kel doesn't know the song, and it's one of my favorite from Lamb of God. It's not my favorite. Jared and I used to listen to Lamb of God. It was one of the ones that broke me in terms of the scream, because I just love his scream. And Kel, let's get our ears on. This is
Very
from
exciting.
2015, I think. This is Rock 'em Ring.
Sorry,
And
what is it?
It's Rock Am Ring, so Rock 'em Ring, Rock AMRING. It's a concert series.
Oh.
All right, so let's share the screen.
Okay.
We'll give a little bit more room. Whoops, I always go the wrong way. It's just the left-right thing. All right, ready for some Lamb of God? We've done a couple
Ready.
of their songs, and this one is, see, live at Rock Am Ring, 2015.
Oh.
Yeah,
It's the name of the
it's festival.
festival.
Yeah.
Okay.
The song is called Ruin. Let's keep it moving, Germany!
Move it, goddammit.
The song is called Ruin.
Again. I know you can't hear the lyrics, but what'd you think of the actual music and the performance, Kel?
Okay, been giving it some thought.
Oh, good. You like when you give things thought. It helps.
There's something different about the tone and timbre of his voice that is different from some of the other scream and growl. I can't quite put my finger on it yet, but musically it has a different quality to it. Some of the scream is a high-pitched and almost like tinny. Some of the growl is super low. It's such a bass tone. He can go far in his ranges, and he has extremes at both ends, but they're both, they have depth. It's a three-dimensional heaviness to what he's producing, and some of them to me sound a little hollow and tinny. And the only reason I'm saying this is because at first I couldn't hear the difference between any of them. They all sounded identical. And now that we've been listening a little bit more as time has gone on in the last 8 or 9 weeks, I'm starting to be able to identify and pick different qualities out. This particular quality of sound is it's just a heavier sound. It has more depth to it. So when I hear it, it settles a bit easier in my ear. And so I don't have no clue what he's saying. But I liked it, which means I didn't hate it. I did. I liked it.
Okay.
And it just means that I need to have further investigation. I need to hear more from all of these bands. I need to experience more of the scream, more of the growl. It's just becoming accustomed to it musically and lyrically and logistically and, you know. And, yeah, I think they're all great and musically brilliant and clearly masters of their trade and their craft. And I appreciate what they're doing. I want to hear more of Lamb of God, but I think I'd like to have the lyrics in front of me.
Yeah.
Maybe on this side.
Yeah, I wanted to show you the live version, the live performance, so you can actually see them. Then let's go and listen to a studio recording of them with the lyrics.
Oh, one more thought. I'm amazed that a human can produce those sounds. That sounds like it should be coming from one of those music sound generators. I can whistle, and my whistle is a very high-pitched, loud whistle.
Yeah, it wakes up the next time zone.
And so anyways, people have often said to me, it's amazing that you can produce that kind of sound as a human being. And now I understand what they're saying, because when I listen to him, I think, wow, what a gift. He can do that with his voice. I mean, yeah, I haven't quite put my finger on it yet, so maybe all of you can help me, but there's a different quality to the sound of this person, this singer.
God,
I don't even know who he
I'm drawing a
is.
blank on his name.
So I don't know who
I'm
he
not
is.
very up on
the lead
on-
vocals. Sorry,
yeah.
I don't know who he is.
Yeah, I'm not up on the that side of Lamb of God, and I get the bands confused. I believe it's again.
That's okay.
I'll stick my foot
Well,
in my mouth if I start saying who it is, but I believe it's Dave
Why
on
don't
drums. David Moore.
you help us out? And he's just great. Great. Fantastic.
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you think? I mean, of what I've said and what you hear and what you know, because you have listened to them a little more than I
Yeah,
have.
again, it was the first band that. So this goes back to 2007, when Jared was 11, and we were going to see Metallica in Vancouver. It was December.
Vancouver, BC.
Vancouver, BC, December 2nd, 2008, supported by The Sword and Lamb of God. So I wanted to bone up on Lamb of God and The Sword before, and Jared had already been listening to them at age 11, and he played them for me. He borrowed a CD from one of his friends, and he put it on. I was just like, whoa. The first song I heard was Redneck. And then...
Have you heard that one?
No. And then Laid to Rest. That was Jared's first real heavy song that he mastered. And he mastered it fast. And then he became Laid to Rest. I'll try to sing it. Ready? No.
It probably sounds
way.
like this. Something like that.
That's a good start.
I'm just
with
kidding.
more up and down.
Just joking.
Yeah, it's got amazing hooks and rhythms and riffs and oh my god. Anyway, so his voice became tolerable for me very, very quickly because it is so dynamic.
It's very
As
dynamic.
opposed to the only way I can describe it, and I've described it in other videos, it's kind of like this that kind of, to make that sound, and it's almost like trying too hard to go above what anybody else has done with the voice, and it just seems overdone, and I don't like that style of vocals at all, and I won't listen to the music.
Perhaps those of you who know, I'm going to take a guess, having been a chorus singer in high-level choirs for a long time, there's a kind of sound that's produced right here, there's a kind of sound that is produced right here, and then there's a sound that is produced from down here. The one that is produced from the diaphragm when you're singing is by far the most powerful. It also doesn't strain your vocal cords or your throat. So maybe he has mastered the diaphragmatic sound, because there's no way you can generate that kind of power without wrecking your vocal cords and straining them. So he's clearly got some serious skill in that area to be able to jump from high to low with power dynamically on stage, having that power come from there. So maybe it's a throat sound that you're referring to, because I know the one, maybe that's what it is. I don't know. It's a guess.
And if you noticed, when he was doing the real low stuff, what was his body position? Down here.
Yeah.
Right? Like almost crunching it. And so we're not vocal coaches. I guess there's reactors that do vocal coach reacts. So it'd be really neat to flip on one of them and see how they respond to his singing, and how she differentiates, or mostly the female voice coaches.
What I would like to react to is an interview. If somebody interviews him and asks him what it is, I'd like to know if there's an interview out there with him about what he does and how he does it, a technical interview. I'd like to go right to the source rather than have someone else tell me what he's doing. I'd like to know if he's told anybody what he's doing, and if we can watch that.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Because the vocal coaches can say what they want, but I think the artists are the only people that...
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It's all good. We're all having a good time.
Yeah.
And we just have preferences.
All right. Thanks. Loved it. Super fun.
A kiss for good luck, good wishes, and thanks for you guys.
Have a great day.
Later.
See you soon.